and welcome to Grand Slam KBO's Weekly Review, our weekly podcast on the Korean Baseball League. My name is Matthew Kerr, and today we do not have our regular hosts. Andrew Farrell and Bradley Hyder are away traveling for the weekend, so I'm here all by my lonesome, except I've got some friends with me. First off, we have my brother from another mother, Mr. Andre Lindy. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good, man. It's good to see you as always. Thanks for having me on. Big fan.
How long has it been since we last saw each other, man? It's been, what,
couple
2 years since you were last here?
2 years, I think. 2 years, because we went to Game 3 of the Korean series together.
Yeah, we did.
And that was the game that Romack hit that great home run. And I think Pandong Ming also had a home run in that game. So, yeah.
I think pretty much the entire SK roster had home runs in that game.
That was a great game to be at, man. You know, the thing that made it best was that they beat Doosan in that game, and anytime you beat Doosan, that's a great thing. So,
especially in the postseason. Did you ever manage to get that
that thing back?
That Chejong card back?
I never did because I haven't talked to him since. But hey, they just had a daughter, so we'll just say that's a gift for them. So
fair enough. You ended up winning the Korean series anyway. So speaking of cards, we have one of the foremost collectors of baseball cards and autographs from the KBO with us as well, Mr. Justin Shafer. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Life's good. Teaching in high school, doing the podcast by myself, and got a couple of good friends with me. So you've been away from Korea for quite a while now. What's life taken you to in the last few years?
Tucson, Arizona. That's about it. But I've actually got to keep up with the KBO because one of the cool things about Tucson is we have the KBO's version of spring training. Spring camp is down here. And so for the past 3 years I've been down here, we've had the KT Wiz, NC Dinos. They're the two regulars. And then for the 2 years before that, we had Nexen/Kium. So they ended up leaving this year. And then we had Hanwha for the first time. And I think it was first time in 5 years that they've been here. So they were actually at 2 different locations in Arizona. So got to see them. And SK came out here as well. They split up their camp from they started out in Florida, and then they came out here as well. So we had 5 teams out here this year, and it was awesome. Korea came to Arizona for 2 months every year. My favorite time of the year.
Nice. So you're a big fan of the autograph hunting when it comes to that. Do you get a lot of guys signing during spring training, like more than would do in the regular season?
Oh, it's easy. There are more KBO fans in this Zoom meeting right now than what there is at spring camp. I'm the only guy there, and it's awesome because people don't know about it. And most people that do show up, it's like a curiosity because the weather is really good here, and there's baseball being played all year round. So if you're not paying attention, you would never know that Chejong or EJ Wan is taking batting practice right in front of you. Because, I mean, like it's just looks like a regular baseball team, you know? And
how do like when you show up with your jersey and stuff, how do they respond? Because they must be like,
they lose their mind. Yeah. And then once they see the back, like say I have a player's jersey and it's signed, then they're all looking at the player like, when did you sign that? You know? So it's excitement and confusion. And every time I ask a player to sign a card, they're like, you know me? I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. And they're just so happy. The one pitcher, I forget his name, but he's for SK. Kind of a heavier set guy. He's always smiling, young kid.
Byung-hyun, is it?
Something like that. But he was like over the moon that I had his card. Like,
I think it's Pyongyang. Like, I remember Michael Delgado, a friend of all three of ours, who's also an SK Wyverns fan. Like, he referred to him as the Korean Bartolo Colon for a
Oh
while.
no,
No,
not
that's
him,
just
not him.
that's Chapin. That's
Yeah.
Chapin Young. But no, younger guy you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, different guy.
I'm
Then.
gonna have to go through my cards and find it. I should have came prepared. I'm sorry.
No,
It's all right.
That's
But,
so cool, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. They a lot of the former KT players when they're on other teams, they know me. They'll yell out KT, stuff like that, and yeah, a lot of them actually know my name now, so it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I actually saw it get shared on Facebook the other day. It's a video of you doing the was it the hit song or one of the home run songs?
Yeah.
Like up on the cheer stage with all of the cheerleaders and all that. Like, how did that come about?
Oh, that video! I haven't seen that video in forever. That was my favorite song. I loved it. I love that song. Kind of dumb luck and being American. So we were in the first row of the cheering zone or exciting zone. So the first row, and then there's a walkway, the aisleway, right? And so it was me and 3 of my other friends, and we probably had too many adult beverages and just making a fool out of ourselves, because I knew the choreography, but they didn't. So they looked absolutely horrible. And then the cheermaster's like, "Come on up," and I was like, yeah, I ran down there, and because I got to dance on the dugout. I mean, how cool is that?
That's pretty awesome.
But that's pretty much all it was, just 4 tall, drunk Americans like, hey, they're making a fool out of themselves. Let's put them on the big screen and see what they got.
That sounds like the introduction to any article that's about to lambast the armed services for another Bust Up Anita one.
Yeah.
So speaking of the cheering culture then, Andre, you've been involved in that for quite a while as well. Like, was it you guys, or was it a couple of people that you knew that were kind of responsible for changing the SK Wyverns cheer songs?
Well, they were kind of a super group of fans. They were season ticket holders. You've met them quite a bit. You know them quite well. And they just had a connection with both the cheermaster and the people who did that. So when SK originally introduced their pickoff chant, Joro, 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 right? That was it. And then this small group of fans would just say Kuroman the G. And then, we just kept saying that throughout the season. And then all the other fans kept picking it up. And now, after one season, that officially came the chant. And so it was very strange, just because a small group of people were constantly doing this after the official chant. And I think everyone was just like, you know what? That sounds pretty good, actually. We should include that in. I mean, we also had, if you notice, also, SK did change one of their chants. 2, 3, full count to Hansam Hake Takachi, and then
they start the music instantly now.
Instantly. And gee, I wonder why that is, right? So, Justin, what we used to do is right after they did that, we'd all show, just super loud. And the cheermaster would always just give us a dirty look, just be like, and it was just me, sometimes Matt, but then our group of Korean friends there. And yeah, so, but these seats were always, you had the cheerleaders who were in the front row. Mm-hmm. Then the second row, we had some of those seats, and then the third row and fourth row. And these were all season ticket holders, but these guys were connected. I mean, they knew all the cheerleaders, they knew the MC, they knew the cheermaster. I mean,
one of them ended up getting a job in photography as well, I believe.
One guy, I think, also worked in the front office. He got me into a couple of games for free. So I mean, it's just. But as soon as a dude would come down and start to harass someone, like one of the cheerleaders, they would just look at a guy and say, "Oi," and the guy would look at him and just be like, and just like run off. I mean, they were kind of enforcers. Would you say so? Kind of in some way, like they
yeah, kind of like. All the different teams seem to have that kind of aspect of the fan culture, like not so much gatekeepers, but they have a subset of fans who basically set the standard for everyone else and help include everybody who's basically not going to be a complete arse at the games.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever find that at the KT games as well, Justin? Or was it just like you and your military friends doing your own thing? Like, is a game experience different when you're there as military personnel?
Well, I tried to keep it low key that I was in the military. Like people, and plus people didn't really ask me what I did. But yeah, I kind of did my own thing because I'm one of those type of people where you're taught in the military to blend in. Well, I can't blend in South Korea, but you can still be respectful to not draw attention to yourself, you know? Like I would drink, but I'm not going to take my shirt off and start climbing the safety netting or anything like that, you know? Or harass the cheerleaders, which I've seen a lot of creepy people do. And yeah, so no, I tried to assimilate as much as possible.
All right, then.
Yeah.
So, cheer culture aside, then, do you guys have a favorite chant or song that you used to hear at the games? For you, Justin, aside from the Untitled Chapter song, like, do you have another particular favorite?
Oh man, Lee Hyung's was cool. There was this one rookie. Crap, he was number 52. Nam Tae Young. I don't even think he's still in the league anymore. But it was like the band Train. They ripped off some song. I forget what it was. But I know the end. It was always like paya paya paya. Like they do the finger guns and stuff, and it just had a really good flow to it.
I know that one. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
it was like
actually.
Like, yeah, they just, and it was easy too because they kept repeating his name, and then there was a couple of Korean words that I didn't know, and then by that time it's time for the finger guns anyway. So, you know, yeah.
How about you, Andre? You got a favorite? Oh dear. Has Andre left us?
I think you know which one I'm going with. He's not in the league anymore.
Oh, there we go. He's
am I back?
Us. Yeah, you're back.
Okay,
sorry about that, man.
No, I think my internet's being a little wonky. But I think you know my favorite one. He retired this year. He used to be the former first base for SK, and he was with the team for a very long time.
I keep thinking Jodong-won.
No, Jodong-hwa, he was second base for them.
Yeah.
This one, number 36. Glasses.
Yeah.
I have one of his jerseys in my closet because I got it because I love his autograph. He has a gorgeous autograph.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
I got an autographed baseball of him. It's a Park Jang-won. 무쇠나 만든 박장관 와이번즈 계산 박장관. I mean, it was just.
Oh, we may have lost him again.
Yeah, the internet cannot handle his excitement.
For SK now.
Yeah, he is. So it's cool to
from
see.
An 80s and it.
Oh, he's back. Maybe. So I guess we can continue that conversation then about him being a coach. Yeah, like it's pretty cool to see in the KBO how so many of the different players end up like jumping on and becoming coaching staff after they finish playing. Like in MLB, you don't see too many guys who try and develop the coaching side of the game after they retire.
Well, actually, a lot of them start out in the minor leagues in like trying to get back to MLB. But the thing is with Major League Baseball and minor league baseball, there's six levels that you can start out at before you even get back to the big league club. So the cool thing is with KBO, there's only the Futures League. So, I mean, most of the guys go right back to the KBO. And one of the things I've noticed about the KBO is the coaching staff is like double the size of what an MLB staff would be.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's way more coaches in KBO.
Yeah, there's a pretty massive emphasis on the coaching side of things. I remember Oxspring telling me this a few times, how players will basically be micromanaged to death during their development, rather than just in terms of pitches, rather than just trusting what they've got and learning how to consistently throw a strike in a certain area or hit a certain cutoff point. Like, the coaches will be like, no, you have to pitch with this exact form, this exact delivery, and they'd basically try and coach them into a particular style, and that would detract from what they were doing. Like, No Kyung-eun was a massive victim of this, and it used to be like a running joke among us and our friends. Like, Andre, you remember this? Our friend Ryan, who would basically say, the game is safe unless No Kyung-eun pitches.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. We were at a game and that actually happened also.
Yeah. So. The first time we ended up meeting Mike Delgado. Like, he was playing for Lotte at the time, and Oxspring hadn't worked his magic to make him believe in what he had. And, God, what was it? I think Lotte had a 6 or 7 run lead, and I said the second he came in, Lotte's losing this game. It was like 3 innings to go, and that's the coffee machine doing a thing. It was like 3 innings left, 6-7 run lead, and they ended up blowing it. So that's one thing I actually love about KBO more than anything else. And with the coverage on ESPN and coverage over in the States, I imagine a lot more people are now becoming aware of the glory of a KBO bullpen meltdown. Like,
yeah,
you guys have experienced a fair few of those in your time as well, right?
Yeah.
Any particular standout examples for you?
I if you don't mind, Justin, I'll go on. This is one with Matt. This involves Lotte, and this involves me getting extremely pissed. This is with one of my most hated players in the KBO that now plays for LG, a guy by the name of Jin-Ae-soo. I hate that guy with a passion. So this was probably one of my first trips to Sajik. And SK had like a 4 or 5 run lead going into the 8th inning, and they lost in the bottom of the 9th. And Jin-Ae-soo was one of the key reasons why they lost that game. So it is just, yeah, that game was a harsh introduction to KBOness of the bullpens, but that's why you gotta love the KBO also.
Yeah, no lead is safe. I love it.
So how about you, Justin? Any memorable games you've been to where the bullpen just royally messed it up?
I'm a Wiz fan, so if we weren't down by 10, we were blowing the leads. I don't remember them blowing one, but I do remember a walk-off by Park Hyun-soo. He had hit a home run, and they came out of the dugout, and they actually did the like Gatorade bath, but they threw the cooler on top of him, and it was like covering his arms, so he's like this. And then they reviewed the home run, so he's on the field looking like R2-D2, with a cooler on his head, and we're waiting to see, okay, can we keep hitting the cooler? Did we win the game, or do we got to get out there and bat again? Like, it had to be 16. So if you can find, he probably didn't hit that many walk-off home runs, but yeah, Park Hyun-soo hit a walk-off home run. They threw the cooler on him and started beating on the side of it like he was getting hazed. It was awesome. And then we were all like, we seen the umpire review thing, and we're like, oh my God.
Did they end up like awarding it, or did they end up telling him to go
it was
back
a
in the batter's
walk-off. It was
box?
a walk-off, so we all started celebrating again, and
oh God,
he's rolling around on the ground with a water cooler on his head.
I think that's how VAR must feel in the English Premier League nowadays, in soccer and all that.
Yeah,
it's just like, can we celebrate? Can't we? Okay, we can. Carry on.
But I found some Park Jung-kwan cards for you, so you can see how awesome his autograph is. Like, look at how beautiful that thing is.
Dude, I love the way
awesome.
The way he writes the 36 is just so clean. I mean, it is just
favorite SK jersey, which I have not been able to find one of those.
They had one for sale once. They had Che Byung-yeon's Game 1 one, on sale on the website once for like $300. And I'm kicking myself that I didn't buy it because Che Byung-yeon is like the only SK player who's ever been my size.
That's one of the reasons I'm a KT fan, is because they make jerseys in my size. So, yeah.
Justin, that one specifically though, because they did 2 Let's Go Green versions.
Oh,
that
really?
that one right there is the better one because that one still has the wyverns right here.
Yeah.
And then it has Let's Go Green right here. The other ones just said Let's Go Green right here up the top. But that one, they wore that game in a game once. I went to that game, but they didn't sell it. And I was so just like, how can you show an awesome jersey like this and then not sell it?
Yeah, that's one of the things. Another thing I love about the KBO is all the different jerseys. So was it like an Earth Day type thing or recycling, or?
It might have been, it might have coincided with Arbor Day.
Matt, do you remember in what was it, in right field, they used to have like a weird little like museum thing where it was like Let's Go Green and you could walk in and look at some stuff, but we never went in there. It was right behind the barbecue seats.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was kind of like this little, almost like no bigger than a smoking room that you'll find in Jamshil. Like, imagine a room big enough to fit maybe 25 people, but they had stuff on the walls. They had a couple of things in glass cabinets. I think they ended up moving a bunch of that stuff behind home plate when they set up the mini museum that they have with a bunch of their old uniforms and Korea Series replica trophies, or are they official trophies? I don't know. Do they make it every year?
Yes.
I think they make a replica every year, but there's one that's for the current year that they assign to the teams. I could be wrong though. It's been a while since I've had a look into trophy history.
Yeah. You'd have to check out Jam Show. As somebody would do something, they would definitely know.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe a Kia Tigers fan, they'd know a bit more. They've got a lot more of them in there.
Yeah.
That's true.
So on the topic of uniforms, did you guys see that SK have gone a little bit retro with some of their uniforms this season?
I dig it. The blue pinstripes. I really dig pinstripes personally, and a blue set is pretty awesome.
This is the uniform in question. So for anyone who's listening to the audio version of the podcast, if you search Grand Slam KBO on YouTube, you'll be able to see pictures of this flash up periodically throughout the show. But this is the uniform in question. It's like this nice blue pinstripe kind of thing. It's like Samsung Lions and LG Twins having a baby, and this is what you end up with. I actually really like this one.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. I actually really like the blue one. I know they're selling that blue one also right now. And if I was living in Korea now, I would buy that blue one in a heartbeat. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so they're doing this as a throwback, and then also they released this one here, this kind of throwback white from the 2004-2005 season, and the blue, like the blue with the piping down the middle, and that little cursive W, and just I love the way that it's almost cursive, but it's still distinct enough for the letters to be separate. I love that design.
Yeah.
Oh, that was their away jersey. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yep. That was their road one. That was the home one. And then they've kind of taken the pinstripe one and released it from way back in the 2000s.
And that was the first year that they were even a team, was back in 2000. So,
yep.
You know, also on the subject of jerseys, Matt can speak well to an instance where I kick myself almost every time he's a one SK jersey. It is
INCHU.
Lord. So Justin, you know, like the Sunday jerseys that SK wears, it's the Incheon ones. They're clean. It's really nice.
I have one of those too.
It's nice.
I got EJ1 because or is it E1
yeah.
EJ1?
No, EJ1. That's
EJ1 because he has another awesome autograph too.
EJ1, one of my favorite players. Tough season this year for him, but so the year before they made that their official Sunday jersey, they released one that was spelled Inchun, the old spelling of Incheon, like the old Romanized spelling it. And that it was the off-white, like eggshell white, and they sold it for one game. And Matt and I were at that game, and I was like, should I buy this? No, I don't need to buy it. And then ever
I was
since
telling
I've
him
just
to
been,
buy it.
yeah,
I was like, dude, you're a fan? Buy it. Buy it, buy it, buy it.
the jersey they got away.
Yeah. There's EJ1's autograph. How awesome that thing is. Look at that. And that's a piece of his jersey. It might be the one that you wanted.
Oh, dude, Matt.
I think that's the one that I ended up giving you, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, he gave me a Chaechung one at game 3. I gave it to my friend to look at it. I forgot that I gave it to him, and then I never got it back. That's what he was talking about earlier on.
Oh, jeez. That is not cool.
Yeah, I think he ended up doing something really important that game, like getting a 2 or 3 run home run as well. Like, I think he's the reason the game got tied up. And then I think Han Dong-min ended up walking it off or winning it.
Game 6, yeah. Game 6 was bottom of the 9th. No, it's top of the 9th. 2 outs. Doosan was up by 1. Doosan brought Lindblom in to was it Lindblom or was it Nippert? No, it was Lindblom. Lindblom.
Nippert was at KT at the time, I believe.
Yeah, they brought Lindblom in to close the game out. Chaejong, with I think 2 strikes on him, hit a no doubt home run that tied up in the top of the 9th. And then in the top of the 13th, Han Dong-min, who had been over the entire game, hit the go-ahead home run. And then Kim Gong-yeon came in and struck out the side to win the 2018 series.
That's awesome.
Nice. Gotta love it when people remember these things.
Yeah, they're kind of easy to remember because it's like something crazy always happens in a KBO game that makes it stand out, you know?
Gotta love it. Well, that's why I ended up doing the KBOness essay. Like, that thing you could just add to pretty much on a weekly basis for some lunacy that's happened in the league. So at that point, I think that's enough of a chat. So let's have a look now at the Grand Slam Hall of Fame. Welcome to the Grand Slam Hall of Fame, where we will basically nominate a person, place, or thing, where we are going to put it up to the vast internet to decide what belongs and what doesn't. Last week, the nominations were the Naver Sports website, Sports Complex Stadium, and my nomination was baseball cards. And it was a bit of a runaway winner this week with 38 total votes cast, with 20 votes out of that 38. The winner is Naver Sports. So baseball cards and Sports Complex Station both picking up 9 votes each. Gentlemen, you've had quite a bit of experience with Naver Sports, have you not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
what
before
is the accessibility like with that, with you guys being back in the States now?
Justin, you want to go first? I can go first.
It's not very good unless you have a VPN, or if you can read Korean, it's awesome. But for a non-fluent speaker like me, it's kind of difficult to navigate.
Okay. Are you able to watch any of the game replays after the fact, or are they geo-blocked as well?
It's all geo-blocked.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's rough.
Before ESPN had its deal in place, I mean, from 2015 all the way up through 2019, you could watch highlights, you could watch live games, you could watch replays. And I loved it because, you didn't pay a cent for it and you were getting premium content, right? The moment the ESPN deal came in place, Naver, Kakao TV, Down, Twitch, everything came geo-blocked. And then guys I know who are in Canada, they're like, that sucks. We can still get it. It's the US. is basically.
So do you guys wake up early in the morning to watch the ESPN shows, or is that part of your morning routine?
I have ESPN Plus, so I watch it on demand.
All right.
And like I was talking to you before, I can't watch it live because the commentary drives me crazy.
Okay.
So if I don't watch it live, I won't be on Twitter as much, tweeting to the hosts about what they got wrong, or please talk about the game and not MLB. So
Seriously.
I just watch the on-demand games.
That's fair enough.
I tried watching a couple times, and I just couldn't deal with the announcers. I mean, I understood at the start of the season when they didn't talk about the KBO because they didn't know the league.
Mm-hmm.
But, once it got into like 40, 50 games in, and they still weren't talking about the league a lot, except for Mendoza. She does a good job.
Yeah, she does.
I think she does an excellent job. But I mean, once it got past that point where I'm like, you guys are doing a serious disservice to the league right here that you guys won't talk about it.
Benetti as well, actually. He's really good.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's now that MLB has started, those guys are gone, and gal. So it's like you're starting over again with new broadcasters that are talking about 2 pitching rubbers and talking about games ending ties in the playoff format. It's like I already know this. Even the new fans should already know this that have been watching it from the beginning. So it's really difficult. I love the KBO, and yeah, they're getting the exposure, but it's not. They're not giving it the love and the respect that I have for it. They don't share the same passion. I'm passionate. It's a job for them. If that makes any sense.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. Like when I lived on the West Coast, and I would get up in the middle of the night, just for whatever reason, I would check my phone, check the scores. This would be like 3, 4 a.m. If SK was close, I'd even fire up Neighbor on my phone and watch the game some. But here on the East Coast, the games, I get up at 6 and the game's already maybe 3 innings in. And so now instead I'll just fall out on my phone and just watch it that way since I can't watch it live anymore. So.
Are you guys able to watch the video replays on Twitch? Because I know they put the VODs up after the fact as well. So that could work kind of like an on-demand service if it's available to you.
I've heard those actually do work. I've heard the Twitch replays for whatever reason aren't geo-blocked, but the live broadcasts are.
Yeah, okay. I haven't been on Twitch for the KBO at least, so I couldn't talk on that.
All right then. Well then, I'll probably have to put a video together in the near future about how people can watch it. So if either of you could double check that and let me know, please, that'd be much appreciated. But that means after Naver Sports wins this week's Grand Slam Hall of Fame, that Andrew Farrell has moved up into first place with 4 wins and 3 losses against him out of his attempted efforts. I am languishing down there with 3 and 4. And then Bradley Hyder, yet to get his first win. He's 0 for 7. So, gentlemen, the way it works is usually we'll let the winner have the first crack, but I think that may give some people a bit of an unfair advantage, as has been evidenced by Hyder getting destroyed for the last forever. So, who would like to go first? I'll leave it open to you guys.
It's your call. I can go last. I don't have to worry about my Hall of Fame nominee getting stolen. So.
All right, then. In that case, Andre, you can go first. I'll go second. And we will have Justin Shafer bringing up the rear as the last entry.
So anyone who knows me, this will come no surprise that my nomination is going to involve SK. Why? Because I'm a huge SK fan. And my nomination is the barbecue seats in the outfield and right outfield of Munich Stadium. I've never been able to get those seats. Those seats are impossible to get. They sell out as soon as it's like tickets go on sale, bam, tickets sold out.
I got them one time. They are phenomenal.
So anyone who doesn't know what they are, Munich Stadium is SK's home ballpark. I still refuse to call it Happy Dream.
SK
stadium.
Wyverns Happy Dream Baseball Park.
Yeah, I still refuse to call it that. I call it Moonhawk. But in the right, so in right field, you have just the regular stands, but then almost at the very top, you have these bleacher stands that are reserved just for doing Korean barbecue at the stadium. I mean, what could be better than having Korean baseball along with Korean barbecue at the same time?
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty
I mean-
awesome. Like they've got those picnic tables with the little inlay inside of them. Like they've got a gas line feeding all of them, barbecue inside it. Like it literally is just imagine how you'd have this barbecue pit set up with tables around it in a park in the States or in the UK. But then just have a hole in the middle of it where you've got an electric barbecue. It's phenomenal. Plus, they got a couple of butchers in the outfield which will let you buy meat to put on it.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Is it like the restaurants where you do it yourself, where they have freezers of the meat and you go up, or you actually buy the meat and then cook it?
You can bring some of your own in if you want to, but they have dedicated butchers with a bunch of frozen stuff in the outfield that you can just go there, buy the rounds, buy the really thin samgyeopsal, like the Deadbear samgyeopsal. Just buy a bag of that. That's like the size of my torso for like $10-15. Fob it on the barbecue and then eat that with shelter because you got the roof overhead.
Mhm.
Doesn't block any of the view, but it keeps you protected in case the ball rains down on you.
Could you imagine what that would cost in MLB, Andre?
Oh my, dude, that would okay. The seats alone would probably be like $300.
Yeah, and you're not
then-
getting high quality meat either.
No, and the meat's going to be also probably another 100 itself. I mean, so I mean that's my nomination. I never got to do it, but I always saw it, and I always thought that it looked amazing. So, and I think it's kind of unique. So that's
pretty awesome. I never even knew that, and I've been to Monhawk a few times.
Nice. So Andre's nomination is, shall we include the butchers in that and just make it the outfield experience in Moonhawk?
Let's
Those
go with
barbecue
that.
seats? Nice.
Yeah, let's go that.
So my nomination is bit of a simple one, but it's I've actually brain farted on what it was for a second. I was looking right at it. Soju. Soju is my recommendation. It's that old classic where people will try and bring in some of it in those little plastic bottles, add it to their little pitcher beer that they have, and then that is how many horrible and wonderful stories begin. Soju, for anyone who's been listening to the ESPN broadcasts, like they bring it up pretty much every time they have a guest on. Like, what's your soju story? Does soju make you vomit? Whatever else. I've developed an allergy to the stuff, except for like the ones that have been naturally made, like slow making ones, like just distill it in a barrel over many, many, many months. But a lot of soju is really cheap and available readily because it's like chemically made. And like something in that destroys me. And it destroys everyone else's rhyme of reason as well. So yeah, you have soju, you go to a game, there's going to be shouting, and you're basically going to forget you're a functional human being for a few hours.
I have done a lot of, I call it time traveling. I wake up and I do not know how I got there. Like missing clothes, covered in mud. I don't know what happened. And I blame soju.
I think one of my favorite pictures from the KBO does involve Kia, and it involves the president of the world. You know who I'm talking about. Naji-wan, baby. And it's a picture of him looking down at a fan laying on the ground, like laying on the field.
Fell in the outfield. Yeah.
And he's just looking
in the outfield.
And he's
That's
just
the thing.
looking
He wasn't even trying to catch a ball or anything. He was just utterly wasted on soju and just fell out into the outfield grass, collapsed. Thankfully, the guy didn't land on his head. Like, they had concussion protocols at the time, but the guy just basically landed on his ass, fell backwards. And then Naji-wan's just like, what am I supposed to do with this? Eat it? I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome.
So yeah, that everyone's favorite contraband soju is my nomination for this week. Justin, what's your shout out for the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, you guys got two really good ones. So me being a Wiz fan, it's got to be Wiz related. So at in Suwon, Wiz Park, we don't have a cool name for it. Every year they have the water festival. So it's the KT Wiz Water Festival.
Oh,
And
that is so cool.
That's
like
a great one.
if you are going to go, if you can only go to one KBO game your entire life, like the KBO is awesome on a normal day, but if you go during the water festival, oh my God. So I went the first time and I was like, I didn't know what I was expecting, but I seen people go into the game in bathing suits and like board shorts, and Koreans love their electronics, so they had like Ziploc bags with a necklace to waterproof their electronics and everything walking in here. And I see people rolling up with water guns, and
They were selling those outside the stadium as well, like those Ziploc bags and water guns. Like they had swimming pools outside. They even built a water slide in the outfield, didn't they?
Yeah, in right field. It's like 3 stories tall. They built it after I left. I was so mad.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah, the one time and one time only, I went there without bringing a change of clothes, and it was awesome. So they have the little misters up on the second level spraying down, so you're getting wet the entire time, which is awesome because it's like July and August. And then when the Wiz score run, they have water cannons, which you do not want to be sitting close to them because they will decapitate you. Like the amount of water that they spray out is insane. And then the cheerleaders have water guns. They replace the trash cans and they just fill them full of water. People are throwing water balloons, and this is while the game's going on the whole time. The cheermaster is up in the lift, and he is blasting people, and it's not like a garden hose. He's like spraying people with like a fire hose. He's spraying people down the aisles of the concourse. Like the amount of force that this thing is putting out, and it is amazing. There was one game I went to, and they only did this once that I seen. They had dyed the water. So they're spraying people with blue and red water. I ended up with a pink jersey, and I was kind of pissed because it didn't come out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but the water festival is amazing. And like even just spraying random Korean people, like you're there, and of course you're American, so they're all aiming for you. So I mean, you better come packing a couple water guns to help defend yourself.
Nice.
But it's a blast. It's a blast. That's one of those games where you wish it goes extra innings because you're just having so much fun.
Yeah, not to mention after a couple of the games, I was actually at one of those, I think it was with Andre, where they had like this nightclub on the stage with the water cannons and water guns after the fact as well, and just invited the fans to come and dance with the cheerleaders.
Wasn't that SK that would do the nightclub?
SK would do the nightclub, but they
and the fireworks. So many fireworks.
But no, you're right. We did. That was one of the few games where you and I both went to Suwon where they did that. I clearly remember that. That was. We were just like, what is going on here? This is amazing.
It is awesome.
You know, I'm actually just going to say that gets my vote this week already.
There we go.
I mean, okay.
SK, to their credit, they did try and do their own water festival, but it was basically like, you've seen those Zen gardens where you've got this little kind of receptacle that slowly fills up with a trickle of water and then just dips down. Like they had this massive like Gatorade bucket, which would hold like maybe close to a couple hundred liters. And when it was full, it would just dump down on like a block of fans. But that was pretty much the only thing.
I think I remember seeing that though, because the cheermaster, he has like that man lift, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it a boat?
Yeah,
it is.
And I could have swore he was up in the little boat spraying people with hoses.
Well, do you know why it's a boat though?
No idea, because a wyvern in a boat doesn't make any sense to me.
So Incheon is one of the big. It's one of the biggest port cities.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's one of the reasons why, if you look at all of the championship trophies, not trophies, but little memorial pins they have.
They have the water.
Almost all of them have a boat on it. I mean, and even SK's
Even the scoreboard has it.
What's that?
Oh,
Even the
that's right.
scoreboard has it on top.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then the name of the song that they sing in the 8th or 9th inning, depending on where you're at, is Yanambudu, which is Yanan Pier. So I mean, it's all ties back to kind of being near the ocean and whatnot. So I gotta say though, Matt, this week's, no disrespect to Hyder and Farrell, but these week's
We've kind of
nominations
killed this.
yeah.
There's 3 good nominations. It's nice to see it when there's going to be no guaranteed runaway winner. Like last week was kind of dead on arrival.
Yeah, but I think even a casual fan knows what soju is.
Mm.
So, I mean,
We'll see.
You kind of got to experience me and Andre's thing.
Yeah, quite possibly. If nothing else, then you've helped me get a bit of ground up on Farrell, because next week, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do the show. Sad as it is. But yeah, thank you very much, gentlemen. By the way, Justin, I've thought of an idea. We were just talking about how the Wyverns have the boat on top of their scoreboard.
Yeah.
The Wiz have Hwasong Fortress on top of their scoreboard.
Yeah.
They should call Suwon the Fortress.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be awesome. Like, give it a nickname? That'd be pretty sweet.
Suwon KT Wiz Fortress or Suwon KT Fortress or something like that. That'd be cool.
And you, you can make it a slogan, like, defend the fort, throw it on a T-shirt.
Fortress Park, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Just throwing it out there. Anyone in the KT front office listening?
If they heard that, slide me some royalties or keep giving me free hats at spring camp. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Give me one of those Suwon uniforms.
Yeah, those are nice.
Those are sweet.
Are you guys more of a fan of the one with the English lettering or the Hangul that they've got on the front?
Hangul.
Hangul.
I see English every day, man.
I mean, you look at like only a couple teams do that. Like the one that most comes to mind is the Eagles, and it's funny.
Orange pinstripe.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like the Eagles have some of the coolest things for also being one of the most horrible teams. I mean, it is just this dichotomy. And Virgil, if you're listening to this, bro, I'm sorry. Your dedication to the team is admirable, man. But yeah, no, and then you have Samsung who writes Samsung in Hanja on their jerseys, which is also very, very cool. So I mean, I gotta go with Hangul.
Yeah, I like seeing it when uniforms do that. And that is a perfect segue into the announcements. So for anyone who's been wondering what's happening with the KBO Ranked series, I am working on editing the KT Wiz episode now. That should be up hopefully by Wednesday or Thursday in the coming week. I'll let you decide if that's Korean time or American time. That will give me a bit more time to work on it. And after that, there is a poll currently active in the My KBO Facebook page where you are going to be able to vote on which team will be going next. The current frontrunners are Independent Baseball, Obi Bears, and the SK Wyverns, last I checked. So, in terms of this week's show, that is a wrap on everything. You can become a friend of the show by following myself at Chimek Baseball. Gentlemen, is there anywhere that they can follow you on Twitter or get in touch with you? Andre?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. It's just going to be a lot of stuff about Oregon Ducks where I went to school and political stuff. That is SK Ducks 13, SKDUCKS 13.
And Justin, how about yourself?
Twitter is at Charm City Graphs. So usually I'm posting Korean baseball cards or Japanese or Taiwanese baseball cards. Facebook is Justin Shafer, or I also have a page on there, Charm City Autographs, which I talk about all that stuff and how to get autographs through the mail as well.
Good stuff. Do you ever sell any of the autographs that you've gotten through Charm City as well?
Sometimes, yeah, because it's hard. It's like giving up a child because I remember where I was at when I got it, but if I don't get rid of some of the stuff,
Hmm.
I can't buy more stuff. So yeah.
It's a
But
cyclical hobby.
yeah. So I try to get rid of the stuff that I can't get signed.
That's fair enough. And you can also become a friend of the show by following at Grand Slam KBO and at Grand Slam Hider on Twitter. If you are listening to the audio version of this podcast, then you can look on YouTube for Grand Slam KBO. And if you are on YouTube, then you can go to Grand Slam KBO, where all good podcasts are downloadable. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me for this week.
Thanks for having me.
It was an absolute pleasure, man. Thanks for having me also.
All right, then. We will see you all later. And is it Tuesday yet? Bye-bye.